The bulk of the cab's superstructure has now been completed after what seems like an eternity of drilling and tapping and countersinking for 8BA screws, as well as cutting the screws to length. That's all done. In terms of detail, I've joined the cab sides to the coal bunker. There's a bit of 1.8mm flat sheet, which I've drilled and tapped, of course, at 8BA. So the cab is now quite rigidly held, which is good. I've also fixed the cab to the rear running board. As I said in the last video, the side running boards are going to be dependent upon the ultimate position of the motion plates, motion brackets, and that's still work in progress, although my Fusion model is developing. A little bit more on that in a minute. To secure the cab to the running boards, I have been working off the bottom. And you can see 4 round head screws here. So working pretty much as I've been doing all the way through, marking out on the underside of the rear running board the positions of the sides of the cab, and then working inwards to determine where the angle will be positioned, drilling through, and then spotting through from the running board onto the bits of angle. So that's relatively secure for now. Once I've got the side running boards in place, I can think about doing the same, and of course securing to the front side of the cab, which I've not got any angle on at the moment. As I've said a number of times, I need to pull a big section out for the boiler in the middle here. In terms of detail, I do need to get some half-round bar, 316 or 5mm in my world, to go around the top edges of the bunker. I would also like to put some spectacles on the spectacles, but I'm limited with bar stock at the moment. There are meant to be handrails in the entrance here on both sides, so I think I'll crack on with those next. The handrails are secured at the top using some square bar. Don specifies 316, and actually I've got some 316 to hand, so that makes life a bit easier. So I just need to cut 4 lengths to length, 3/4 of an inch, or 19mm in my world, and they'll be secured to the cab sides using some 16th steel rivets. And luckily I've got a few of these to hand, with some rather abused rivet snaps. Clearly I've been having to get into some tight spaces with these. I'll go and cut 4 of these to length, and then drill the holes through for the rivets and also for the handrail itself. I'll rough cut 4 pieces, around about 20mm each, and then I'll clean them up on the mill. Using one of my wavy parallels, I'm going to put 1 piece at either side of the vise to keep the clamping forces even, or evenish. But I'm just going to be working on the far one. I'll clean up one end on each first, and then machine them to length. So, with one end cleaned up on each piece, I can now take them to length. I'm looking for 19mm. This one's quite long, 21.93. $19, 18.99. I think I'll take that. 3 more to do. To drill the rivet holes, of which there are 2 in each of the brackets, I've already found the position of the fixture using my center finder. And I think what I'll do is I'll do a pair at a time. It's quick enough to find the end of the bar stock using an edge finder. So I'll find that, drill the 2 rivet holes, 1.6mm diameter, and then on the other side, stick the edge finder back in, find the end of it, and again, drill the 2 holes from there. I could put a stop in so that I can position the part on one side of the vise in the same position every time, but it's so easy and quick with one of these edge finders to find the end. It's just as quick to do that, I think, rather than faffing around with the stop. That is a 1.6mm diameter drill, and this is one of the rivets, 1/16, which is actually coming in at around about 1.5mm. With the piece at this side done, I can now go and repeat on the other side of the vise. Coming in from the other end of each of these little pieces, I need to drill another hole at 90 degrees to those I've just drilled. This hole being for the handrail. I'll take the same approach, 2 pieces at a time, the ends just poking out so I can find them using the edge finder, and then center drill and drill the respective holes. Don specifies a number 30 drill bit for the top of the handrail, and a quick check, number 30 is 3.26mm, so we'll go with 3.3, and this hole is 532, which equates to 3.9688mm, so we'll call that 4. Two holes on that face for the rivets, and a single hole on this face for the handrail. The brackets for the handrails are attached to the cab sides, one on the front side of the door, and of course one on the back, which is currently on the Loco. The holes for the rivets need to be 2.3mm off the top of this section here. So I've got that set on the vernier height gauge, 92.8 coming up from the bottom. Marking in is not going to be quite so easy, so I need to come 3mm and 6mm in, but I'll work off that face. This section is 73mm, so I can come in, of course, at 70 and 64. Before I drill them, I do a quick visual check against the actual bracket, then I'll center pop, and run a drill through. That looks good, so I'm happy to run the drill through. I find that the auto center punch doesn't quite make a big enough indent, so I go over again with a normal center punch and a hammer. These rivet snaps have clearly been modified to get into some very tight spots. I'm sure there's a specific formula somewhere for how much there should be left on a rivet to form a dome head. You can see this rivet snap is nicked at the end, so we'll use the nicked end on the inside. And I just caught myself before I riveted it in the wrong hole. It could have gone better, but I think it's okay. I've got this short length of 1/8 bar to use as a handrail. We can see it in situ here on the first of the brackets. It is slightly over length, but that's because I need to do something about fixing it at the bottom. We'll come back to that later. First, I'll get the other 3 brackets onto the cab sides. I've fitted all 4 handrail brackets to the cab sides. You can see the rivets here and here. Don hasn't given any detail on how the bottoms should be secured, so they are moving around. I think what I'm going to do is turn a small diameter stub on the bottom of each handrail and then drill a corresponding hole in the running board so that the handrail will slot in there and not flap around in the wind. And ultimately I think I'll just Loctite them into the tops. That should suffice. I tried it on one handrail first, so then I'll only have one hole to hide should it not work. So let's move on to lathe and get that turned down. I've turned a very short stub, so that's 1.6 diameter by 1.5mm deep. So when it's inserted into the running board it should be flush on the bottom. All I've got to do now is mark out the hole and then drill a 1.6mm hole through. That's probably going to be a little bit easier said than done. This is the running board. This is the front side of the left-hand door frame. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my scribe to capture the position of the cab side and the end of the bracket on the inside. I'm going to mark the other side of the door whilst I'm at it. And do the same on the other side of the cab. I've taken the cab superstructure off the running board and I'm now just going to remark those lines for the insides of the door. That's the front inside edge and that is the rear inside edge. The handrail bottom will be the offset from the cab side plus the cab width plus half of the handrail bracket, which is 6mm offset, 1.5mm for the cab side and then 2.4mm to take me across half of the bracket width, which gives me 9.9mm. I've set that on my little scribe here, and then from the dimensions of the bracket the handrail is 3mm inside the door frames. I am just going to use a ruler for that, although I am wearing my magnifying glasses. I've opened up the hole at the bottom. I did initially drill it out at 1.6mm. That's the diameter of the stub, but I've since opened it out to 1.7. Just give me that little bit of wiggle room. And that's it located in place. Yep, I'm more than happy with that. I'll run around now and do the other three. That is all 4 handrails done. Each has a little stub and each has a corresponding hole in the running board. I have left them slightly over length. They should be flush with the brackets, but I'll defer turning them down to length until it comes to fixing them in place. And as I said earlier, I'll do that with a bit of Loctite in the top and in the bottom. I think they've come out alright. You can see on the other side the right hand handrails, same as the ones on the left here. Looking good. And that, I'm afraid, is as far as I'm going to get this time around, as I'm going to have to put the build back on hold pending my house move. Unfortunately, I think it will be quite a long break, probably early next year before I get to restart, because not only have I got to move, but I'm going to have to re-establish a workshop. In the meantime, I have got Don Ashton's book to keep me company, so I should have plenty of time to get to grips with the intricacies of steam locomotive valve gear design. I've also got my Fusion 360 model, which is dimensionally accurate, so I can use this to make some minor changes, move some bits around, change some key dimensions, and see if I can pinpoint the source of my problems with the motion plate. As always, thanks for watching.